So, I'm listening to the hearing today, and I'm getting really confused on a lot of shit that they're saying. Who said that Russia didn't have anything to do with the tampering in the 2016 election? Who said that? I don't remember fucking anybody ever saying that. They keep saying that Donald Trump and all these people are saying that Ukraine was really the ones that meddled in the election, not Russia. And I'm like, I've never heard anybody say that. Everybody's pretty fucking on the same page about Russia having meddled in the election. I've never heard anybody say that it wasn't Russia. I've heard them say that Ukraine meddled too. I've also heard it said that China, North Korea, Iran, I heard that, who else was it that meddled in the election? There's like 16 fucking countries they say meddled in the election. So, like, it's being brought up that Ukraine might have meddled. But that doesn't mean that Ukraine then is the only fucking country that we think meddled. Like, as well. They did too. And I think it's pretty fucking obvious that they did. There's a whole lot of articles written by high-level people in the Ukrainian government talking about how Donald Trump was a joke and this, that, and the other thing, and they much more supported Hillary. Like, I don't know how much that goes as far as meddling, but nevertheless, that's one world leader saying that they support one candidate over another in U.S. press, you know? God damn it. People texting me. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, we can have two different countries meddling in our election at the same time. Apparently we can have like 16 of them. But I don't know who it is that's saying Russia didn't meddle, it was Ukraine. I think they're pretty much going, yeah, both of them meddled. So I don't get that. And they're saying that they have these facts. I don't know what facts we got yet. We've got a whole lot of people that said they think some things about it. And there have been a whole lot of dots laid out, and a lot of those dots have just been randomly connected, but they don't really make up a picture of anything. So I don't, like, they keep saying, we're going to talk about the uncontested facts. And I'm like, I think what's uncontested about your facts is that you don't have any facts. You've got a whole bunch of shit. Like, that's why nobody's contesting your facts. You haven't brought up one yet. And, like, the hearing's just really fucking weird. The Democrats are only talking to their guy, and the Republicans are only talking to their guy, and everybody's bitching at each other, and there's no fucking decorum at all. Like, they're just yelling over each other's shit. It started off with a dude standing up, protesting, and this is gonna surprise you, the Democrats. Yeah, right? Usually it's the fucking lunatic leftists that are jumping up in the middle of all that, solemn hall and screaming random shit at people. Usually it's them. But no, I hear, we voted for Donald Trump and you guys can't overturn the election. Oh, dude. Yeah, that's how it started. I think it was when Nadler was just going through laying out what the fuck we're doing here today. And somebody jumped up and was already fucking screaming. Hadn't even got to his opening statements yet. It's like that fucking far into the process, and we already got people screaming. So I imagine he got escorted out. He probably got murdered. We'll probably never see that dude again, because he jumped up and said something at the Democrats, and so he's probably already buried somewhere. So we'll never find him again. Who knows? But, yeah, it's just so weird. Like, they keep saying all of these things that I'm like, where are you getting this from? Nobody, I don't know who's saying that Russia didn't meddle. They keep bringing up how Putin is so happy because nobody's talking about how Russia meddled anymore. Now they're all talking about how the Ukraine meddled. And I'm like, no, we're not talking about how Russia meddled, because we know Russia meddled. And we spent fucking 3 years talking about that. I think we're done talking about it. Now we're talking about Ukraine, but not because Donald Trump wanted to talk about Ukraine. Donald Trump didn't bring up Ukraine. The Democrats brought up Ukraine. It's the only reason why everybody knows that fucking Ukraine even exists right now. Is because the Democrats fucking lost their goddamn minds. Because Donald Trump talked to the dude on the phone and said, yeah, I want you to fucking look into corruption in your country that may have, had some of my people involved. Alright? Or, I want you to look into Joe Biden because, Joe Biden is such a scary candidate. Did Joe Biden forget where he was this weekend? I think he was in Iowa, said he was in Ohio. Didn't Joe Biden forget what year he was vice president? Didn't he say he was vice president like 76 or some shit like that? Was Joe Biden that got into a fucking screaming match with a dude that was telling him off? And went up to him and went, come on, man, what do you want to do? You want to do some push-ups? Come on. Like, I'm starting to think that let's do push-ups is like a Joe Biden euphemism for take you outside, beat the shit out of you. I think that's what Joe Biden really means when he says, let's do some push-ups. I think them's fighting words. I don't think Joe Biden's actually saying, I want to get down and do push-ups with you. Because what the fuck even is that? Like, again, he just throws out this let's do push-ups thing. So, yeah, Joe Biden's scary. Like, ooh. The only thing that's scary about Joe Biden is he might actually be our next president. That there is even a possibility that he might actually be our next president. That's scary. Nothing else about Joe Biden is scary. He's a doddering old man. Like, at this point, like, you know what I mean? I'm looking at somebody who's in early onset Alzheimer's, or right on fucking time onset Alzheimer's. I don't know when that's supposed to start, but the dude is not altogether there. I think everybody kind of realizes at this point the guy is kind of not together at all. Right? He told the guy who was like 82, told him that he was too old to vote for him. Joe Biden said, of course you wouldn't vote for me. You're too old to vote for me. Right? And then at like the next campaign stop, some other dude really wanted to suck Joe Biden's dick. So he stood up and said, I'm 87. And I think you're not too old to be president. And Joe Biden's like, well, yeah. And I was like, well, tell him that he's too fucking old to vote for you. If the 82-year-old is too old to vote for Joe Biden, why isn't the 87-year-old too old to vote for Joe Biden? Oh, because the 87-year-old wants to vote for Joe Biden. Yeah, Joe Biden, scary fucking candidate. Oh, man. It really keeps me up at night. I think to myself, oh my God, Joe Biden. No. So again, I'm very confused as to why people actually think that like Donald Trump was having him look into his political adversary. He was having him look into a dude. Like he was having him look into a very old man. That's kind of how I see it. Because we have to look at the realistic aspect of the political adversary. They're going to throw Joe Biden up there just so that when they lose, they can go, well, Joe Biden did have a stroke and piss himself at the second debate, so no wonder he lost. Like that's kind of why the Democrats are, they're fine with Joe Biden for the most part being in the front because they're like, we ain't winning anyways, so fuck it. Right? Like, fucking Joe Biden. Yeah, dude, the whole thing is it's getting ridiculous. When both sides, like, how can you have a bipartisan anything when each side calls their person up and then the one side only talks to their person and the other side only talks to their person? How is that? Like, there's two different things going on right now. You've got the Republicans who keep just complaining about the fucking Democrats, the process, and everything, about how it's fucking ridiculous, and they keep throwing out all these points that then they're just told, well, that's just not true. Like, that's the comeback. Well, that's not true. Like, you realize that you just saying that doesn't mean anything. You can't just say that and then all of a sudden that makes it... No, it doesn't make it so just because you said that. There's a lot of valid points in that you just said, oh, that's just not true. It's a conspiracy theory. This conspiracy theory that the Ukraine, not Russia, meddled in the 2016 election. And I'm like, well, yeah, that sounds fucking stupid. Because nobody is saying that. Like, who's saying that? Is that, like, they keep saying, oh, it's this conspiracy theory that they keep bringing up. And they just kept bringing up this conspiracy theory, right? And I kept thinking that meant Joe Biden. You know, the Joe Biden, Hunter Biden thing, that Joe Biden got his kid on this board. I thought that was the conspiracy theory that they were talking about. And then, you know, got this prosecutor eliminated so that he wouldn't look into that shit because there was all sorts of shady shit going on. I thought that was the conspiracy theory they were talking about. But no, apparently the conspiracy theory is that Ukraine, not Russia, meddled in our election. Who the fuck said that? Like, that's the first time I've ever heard of that conspiracy theory. I'm not ashamed to admit. And I'm also not ashamed to say that that's some bullshit. If there's anybody out there who's saying, oh no man, the whole Russia thing, no, that it was Ukraine. You need to fucking smack them in the face with the Mueller report. We paid a shit ton of money and wasted a shit ton of time to tell you some shit that I could have told you for a nickel. Yes, like Russia meddled in our election, and we're gonna meddle in theirs, and China meddled in ours, and we're gonna meddle in theirs, and everybody meddles in everybody's elections. Because we're a global fucking structure now, and everybody wants their people to be running the world. Right? So yeah, everybody's fucking with everybody's elections. Because that person is going to be a lot more of an asshole to us than that person. So we would really love it if you guys would vote for that person, because they're going to be nice to us. Yeah, we all meddle. It happens. Been saying it for years. This isn't fucking news. The degree to which Russia meddled, however, that's different. That's a whole different fucking thing. Right? This wasn't like a funny column somewhere on page 65 of whatever press in whatever fucking random country. No. This was like an effort wherein they were actually setting up rallies online and getting idiots to fucking run them for them. Like, that is some fucking... That's some crazy shit. You know what I mean? When you've got fake Russian rallies popping up, that's some fucked up shit. And Ukraine wasn't doing that. They weren't going that far with it. But yeah, they meddled in our election. The fucking the former Ukrainian president wrote an op-ed article about how he didn't like Donald Trump and wanted Hillary to win. And then it was published in an American fucking paper. What would you call that? Like, I mean, you can call it meddling if you want to, but nobody really gives a shit because everybody fucking does it. Weren't there countries that were literally saying if Donald Trump wins the election, we're going to start dropping bombs? And you know that shit fucking happened. Like, I don't know of anybody who's honestly saying that Russia didn't have anything to do with meddling. That was all Ukraine. Bob Mueller got it all wrong. No. Both of them. and then some. Like, and then a couple of more. I think it was like 16. So, like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, they're doing this whole, we're gonna ignore everything that's being said over there, and then we'll just say things. And that'll be that. It's like arguments and propaganda are fighting against arguments and propaganda. And neither of them are paying attention to the other. And then they call up witnesses so that this side can talk to their witness, and this side can talk to their witness, and their witness will, of course, agree with everything that they say, and their witness will, of course, agree with everything that they say. And what gets done? Nothing. At the end of all this, they're going to vote on articles. Some are probably going to be approved. Some are probably not going to be approved. And then they're going to send it up to the Senate. And the Senate is going to drag their fucking feet because of all the senators that are running for president right now. So they're going to fuck with their campaigns as much as they possibly can by keeping them in Senate sessions dealing with impeachment. So then you're going to have Mayor Pete, who doesn't really have anything, more important to do than run for president. He's going to fucking be out there going, hey, I'm Mayor Pete and shit, right? And everybody's going to go, look, there's Mayor Pete. Where's everybody else? Oh, they're doing important stuff. Like, that's going to be the answer to reasonable people. Everybody else is going to go, he's the only one I see right now. Is he the only one running? I guess I'm voting for him because he's the only one that's running. Or whatever the fuck that is that they think you morons are going to do. Like, I don't know. I don't generally think that everybody around me is fucking infinitely stupid. So I don't really know how people that think that way, I don't know what they think you guys think. Like, I don't know. But, whatever. Like, you really have to show yourself to be fully stupid for me to really think you're stupid. Like, I generally think everybody's pretty smart. I just get disappointed here and there. But yeah, I don't know, it's just so weird. The whole thing is just so surreal to me. I don't get it. For anybody to say that this is in any way a bipartisan anything, like that of all things is just the biggest fucking lie. If anything, the bipartisanship thus far has been against impeachment. Because 2 Democrats voted against it. And I think that in the judiciary, I think it's going to be a couple of more Democrats that are going to vote against it. So, like, this whole fucking thing is just pitifully sad.